Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on the Batmobile Stage 82 from Fanhome. And this is a do-over because my mic for some reason reverted to the Yeti Nano, which I'm no longer using, and so I had no audio for the first 2 minutes. All I've done so far is take the parts out of the bag and open the book. So let's turn the page. First thing they want you to do is take 4 of these knobs here. Do they call them knobs? Or no, they're 4 switches. Cut them off of the sprue and insert them into this part here, which is the left switch box. So let me take them out. I'm going to take them off one at a time and push them into these holes. These are going to be a little bit easier than some of the others have been because this is complete. This is a complete flat straight push in. So if I can actually manage to push them in. Okay, so there's the first one. Push it in there like that. It's partially in. Does not want to go in. Just like normal, these switches want to be a pain in the behind to get in place. So let me try this again. I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background. I will in a couple minutes have to go out there and explain to him that he can't bark. It's the middle of the night. There's the second one. Let's see if it'll go in place. Nope. Gonna have to use the tweezers on all of them, it looks like. Careful not to over pinch them, because if you pinch something too hard in tweezers, it'll squirt out and be gone forever. Come on. There we go. There's 2. I'm going to go ahead and cut the other 2 off. There's that one. And trying to make sure I don't end up with way too much of the sprue left behind when I cut off the switch, because that might block me getting it into the hole. There's that one. Make sure it's in place. And then the last one here, I will put here this last hole. Of course, it'll just fall back out because I didn't get it pushed in. So let's try this again. Is pushed in partially. Let me get it pushed all the way down, and then we're going to get one of these red knobs. Let's see. Oh, red buttons. One of the red buttons here looks almost like a pull switch, but the red button goes into the end here. And then I will hold it up to the camera and let you take a look at it. So there are those knob, or the knob and the, did it say knob? No, there's the red button and the 4 switches. I'm going to pause real quick here, and I'll be right back after I go get the dog in from outside so he can stop barking. I'll be right back, if I can get my mouse under control. Okay, I am back, and the dog is quiet and still alive. I wouldn't hurt him. So now we're going to take this box here, and we're going to push the black button here into the center of it. Come on. could be a little bit tricky since the location where this goes is actually recessed a little bit. Little tiny button goes down in here. This is going to be a little bit tricky. And as I've said before, black parts going into black parts sometimes can be interesting. Let's see, maybe a larger pair of tweezers. I can hold it by the button instead of trying to hold it by the neck. Of course, I have to have enough of the neck sticking out that I can actually put it into the hole here. That could have been bad. It does not want to go into its hole. I think that got it. Or at least, no, I thought I had it. I thought I had started it. When I touched it, it fell out. Let's try this again. That time it hit me in the face. Yay face for blocking parts that would otherwise be lost. And I think that was it. I heard it hit here. I do not see it. So that part is gone forever. I'm not even going to try and look for it on the floor. Yeah. And it's a little bit irritating that they do those little bitty buttons like that, especially when you're trying to put a button into a recess like that. It's kind of difficult. So, button's gone. Let me see something. Can I cheat here? It's not going to be a button, but if it fits, we'll put a screw in there. I think this one's probably too small. That one fell right in there. So definitely not the KP screw. We'll try the AP screw. And then if that doesn't work, we'll do the EP screw. Beyond that, I don't have anything hanging out right here handy. Almost guaranteed there's no finding that button though, because it is so small. Come on. It's not exactly what's supposed to be in there, but I do have a button of sorts in there now, even though if it is actually a screw. So now this goes on this piece here into this hole right here. Come on. Into that hole right there. It is slightly D-shaped. Goes in place just like that. In the grand scheme of things, that button is not going to be that big a deal. So this is the left, and this one here is the right hand side. It goes this direction. We're going to do the easy one first. We're just going to grab this button instead of switch, and it's going to go right here in the very end. We'll cut the switches all off at the same time. Being careful not to launch any of them. There's 3. Number 4. And now we're going to carefully put these switches into their tiny holes. There we go. There's the first one. Second one dropped. Not a good start. Come on. Try this again. That's the problem, is that they always want to lay on their side when you're trying to put them into the hole. Okay, that one's in and all the way down. He says as he pushes it the rest of the way down, because I thought it was all the way down, but it was not quite. The third one. Thought I felt something underneath my hand there. Come on, there we go. And last one. If I can get it in to go into place. There we go. And there's all the switches and the button for the right-hand console. Or not right-hand console, but the right switch box. So now we're going to take the dashboard, we're going to flip it over. The left is going to go on to, obviously, the left part here. We're going to put 2 AP screws in here. We're going to do the same thing with the right with 2 AP screws. So let me get out 4 screws. There's 3. It was close. There's number 4. And we'll put this one underneath here. Okay, there's that one. Come on. That one. Is that, nope, that one is not in place. There we go. Tighten that one down. And we'll take the right switches and buttons and put it on the other side of the steering wheel. Try and lose the screw. Come on, line up with the hole. That's not working. Okay, let's try this again. This is where you need a third hand or a fourth hand, and it's a little bit difficult. But not impossible. Let's put the fourth one in here like this. Miss the hole. Oops, push that back a little bit. There we go. And now we have the switches and the buttons underneath there. So now, need to bring over the chassis like we did in the last issue. See, that can go away. Those are not, those screws need to get out of the way. Move everything to the side. Let me go get the Batmobile itself, and I will just keep talking instead of pausing the camera because I'm just walking across the room, bringing it back. It is getting substantial, and now we want to find, let's see, we want wire K, which I don't know which one it is. Let's see over here if we can sort it out. That's D. Oh, both of these are D. So those are going to be headlights or something. H, G, why do I have a feeling that K is up underneath there somewhere? So let me pause the camera while I go figure out where the wire I'm looking for is, because I know there should be wires coming up out of here, but I don't have any. So I'll be right back once I sort this out. Okay, I found K. What I had to actually do was, and hopefully I won't lose K underneath here, I had to actually loosen the screws here. It was hanging off of that side, but it wasn't sticking out to where I could see it on this side. Well, when I found it, it wasn't long enough to make it over. So K goes into, that's the speedometer. It goes in here like that. And then they want you to, by unplugging the strips, push it inside the bracket, make sure the bulb casings, both LEDs facing side of the dashboard with two curved edges showing. Okay. So now they want you to put two switches in here into the this area right here. So we'll get those put in there. Get both of those out. Grab it by the top of the switch, or drop it and lose it. That's even better. We're going to slide it into the hole here. If it'll fit. Try that again. Wonder if I can do it without the tweezers. Nope. My fat fingers are too big. Come on. Almost. Well, maybe. Did I just lose it? I saw it fall over here. I thought I did. Got it right here. Let's try this again. Not a huge fan of having to push in little switches like this on a part work. Okay, there's one. See if we can make it a twofer. Also not a fan of not being able to test any of the lights yet. I do have JST connectors. I might start checking them out sooner rather than later. Come on. It's almost starting, but not quite. Then I drop the switch. Let's try this again. See if we can get this puppy to go in there. Actually, let me see something. That would help. I'm trying to put it in the wrong way. It wasn't earlier, but I ended up flipping it around. And I believe I just lost that one. Yep. Not going to try and do the screw thing with that because it's not going to line up, going to be the wrong color. And anyway, those pieces are going to be on there all the time anyway. Really, really, really not a huge fan of having to do little switches to make it look like you've got more to do. But let's go ahead and put the dash pieces on. And this is why I'm not that concerned about that switch, is because this is going to be on here all the time anyway. Let's go ahead and get rid of this piece here. And so now we have the spots to mount the dash. We've got a lug here, here, and here. Line up with the corresponding spots on the dash. And let's just make sure. Interesting. They only want you to put a screw here and here and then plug your wires in. So there must be something else going in up here eventually. So let me get the two AP screws out. And we'll start with this one that's closer to me. And this should, once it's in place, actually I'm missing completely. I'm too far up. Let's try this again. There we go. That's got some bite. Go ahead and do the other side as well. And that'll start to firm up the interior compartment of the car, because it is really fragile and flimsy right now. Tighten that down. I'm not sure. Interestingly, okay, it has plugged the wires in. I'm just looking up here at the front. Seems like it should be tighter. Of course, there's the problem right there. There we go. That's what the holdup was. The thickness from the Michelin carpets was holding it back. So now where did I put those last two screws? It doesn't say to put them in right now, but I had them, so I was going to put them in, but I don't know where they are now. But I will take this wire here. Actually, let's see how they route that wire. Okay, so they're routing these wires around here in this center part of the console, and then down to the plug. Of course, it helps if you put it in there the right direction. So there's that one. And then this one could be tricky because it did seem a little bit short before. Come on. And I was not wrong. It is a little bit short. Maybe. No, I should be able to get it in there. Grab it with the tweezers. Plug this. Crud. Thought I had it, and then I didn't. Plug this wire in here, and then run those wires in there like that. Still curious where those screws went because I had them. They were in the little envelope. Let's see, under the cart. Nope. Okay. Well, if I had the screws, I would go ahead and fill them in there because that would hold this whole thing together. Right now it's a little bit, it's firmed up a little, pretty well actually. But that, my friends, is all there is to do in stage 82. Stages are getting more complicated, which is awesome. Really happy about that. Enjoying the build a lot. It is a fantastic build, and it's one that I actually waited for. The first time I saw it was about 4 or 5 years ago, and I really, really wanted it back then. I'm really glad they're coming out with it now. This is very much the Batmobile of my childhood. I'm pleased to be able to build it. But thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch me build a model. I think that's kind of cool. Let me think. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. With that, I'm going to say take care of yourselves, take care of each other, have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video or stream.
plastic modeling, wooden